So if you're like me and most people I know, you probably have thousands of photos and videos on your iPhone or iPad. And if you watched my last couple videos, at least now you know how to keep all those photos and videos without them taking up all the space on your device. But you still need a way to easily organize your photos, to find what you're looking for fast, and to make your photos and videos look even better very quickly and easily. Now, I see people sometimes installing random photo editing apps to try to fix a photo they took, or maybe randomly scrolling trying to find that one photo or video they really want to show you without realizing the Photos app already has tools built in for both quick and easy edits and for finding anything in your camera roll. In fact, the regular Apple Photos app that comes on every iPhone and iPad can do way more than you might think. So let me show you how to get your photos and videos looking great, the simple and easy way with absolutely zero editing skills. Hi, if you're new here, quick intro. My name is Dan Fox and I've spent over 30 years professionally helping people use technology. My channel here is all about simplifying your technology choices and your technology use and often saving you money along the way. I'll try to stay away from deep dive technical jargon too. Now, the Apple Photos app used to basically just be a camera roll, but these days, as I said, it is so much more. For example, did you know that you can easily find most photos and videos with a simple search? You can also customize the way it looks to make it more simple and easy to use for you. And with one click, you can also fix the lighting and color on your photos and your videos. You can even remove things from a photo, like if someone's in the background or if you got photobombed. Again, with one single click. Now, is it a full-blown professional photo editing application like Photoshop? No. But is it more than enough for what most people actually want to do with their photos and videos? Absolutely. A few of the features I'm going to show you here are exclusive to the newer iPhones and iPad, but the overwhelming majority of it works on any iPhone or iPad from the last few years. And one important thing to note before we get started here, any edit you make to any photo or video in the Apple Photos app on iPhone or iPad is non-destructive. What does that mean? It means you can always undo all the way back to the original photo or video. Translation, you can totally experiment without messing anything up. Remember, you can always go back and undo, even years later. You may not know this, but the Apple Photos app is now basically an organizer, an advanced search engine, a photo editor, and even a video editor. The main things I'm going to show you today are how to find your photos and videos fast, how to organize them your way, how to edit your photos and videos very easily, and how to use simple built-in tools that most people don't even know exist. But real quick here, if you're finding value in this video now, or if you find value in it by the time you get to the end of it, make sure you hit the subscribe button. It really helps my channel and I sincerely appreciate it. Now, there's certainly more to the app than I am going to cover in this video because I want to keep it simple and valuable to you. I'm going to show everything today on an iPhone screen because that's the most common use case. But if you're doing this on an iPad, just know that it's all the same features. It's just that sometimes these buttons are in a little different location on the screen. Let's start with simple navigation of the Photos app. Okay, so here in the Photos app, it's going to open to your regular camera roll. But if I select these three lines in the upper right-hand corner of the screen, and then I select View Options, and then I select Square Photo Grid, then tap outside the window, you'll see that all of your photos are now shown as square. But if you go back and hit those three lines again, then select View Options, then select Aspect Ratio Grid, click outside the window, and right in your camera roll, you can tell whether your photos are portrait or landscape, whether you took them up and down or sideways. Also, clicking those same three lines up at the top, you can either select Sort by Recently Added or Sort by Date Captured. You can either sort your photos by the date they were taken, or you can sort your photos by the date they were added to your camera roll. Now, this is not always the same if, say, someone sent you some photos and they were taken a long time ago. Okay, back in the bottom of your camera roll here, now we're going to scroll up a bit. And I want you to notice how the library and collection buttons on the bottom will suddenly change to years, months, and all. If you select year, your camera roll essentially zooms out to now be represented by year. The photo for each year is randomly chosen by Apple. Now, if you select one of those years, it will automatically collapse into the month view. And again, Apple picks a selection of photos to represent that month. If you select any one of these months, it will automatically go back into the All Photos view, which is your entire camera roll. But now it'll be located on the month and year that you selected from the previous screen. So with each click, you're basically just zooming in from year to month to day. And no matter where you are in your camera roll, double-clicking the library button in the bottom left-hand corner will bring you back to the bottom of your camera roll. Okay, let's jump over to the collections button. Now this section looks really busy, but bear with me here because I'm going to show you a way to simplify the interface here. If you go to the top and you select these three dots in the upper right-hand corner, it allows you to collapse all of these sections. Now you can see everything just by the collection name. Click on the little blue arrow to get a quick glance at what's inside each collection. Click the blue arrow again to collapse it back down. To actually open that collection, you select directly on the word, in this case, albums. Albums are pretty self-explanatory here. This is how you can organize your photos. They'll still be in your main camera roll, but you can go straight to an album to see them in their own collection. To create an album, you just hit the plus sign here, and then hit New Album. And if you want to rearrange the order of the collections, click those three dots in the upper right-hand corner again, but this time select Reorder, and the grips that come up on the right, those three little lines, press and hold one, and then drag and let go where you want it to be located. This creates the new order. Now there's a lot to cover in collections, so I'm really just going to go over the things I think are most valuable here. Now we've already covered albums, and shared albums are similar, but as the name suggests, this is for people to be able to share photos and videos with each other. As long as your friend has an Apple device as well, they can add photos and videos to it so that everyone in the shared album group can see everyone else's collection of photos and videos together. In the interest of keeping things simple, I am going to skip over media types and go straight to utilities because that, in my opinion, is where some of the most valuable stuff is here. Now, one of the first things you'll see under utilities here is favorites. When you're back in your camera roll, if you have a photo full screen and you tap the screen, you'll see a little heart at the bottom of the screen. Selecting that heart adds it to favorites so you can look at all of your favorites when you're back here in collections. Now I'm going to swipe over to one of the most valuable utilities here called duplicates. Selecting this will show you all the duplicate photos and videos you have in your entire camera roll. It'll give you the option to merge them together one at a time, essentially deleting one of the duplicates, or select them all and merge all duplicates at once. This works well to clean up your camera roll and free up space. Back under utilities, another really useful one is receipts. Clicking this will show you any pictures you've taken of a receipt. Especially useful if maybe you're on a business trip and you need to collect all the photos of your receipts for an expense report. I'm also going to really quickly touch on people and pets. I'm not going to go into this because I don't want to reveal the names of all the people in my people and pets section, but if you open this, it will automatically show all the faces in your photos. And I know it's time consuming, but if you individually go in and put a name to a face for each face, Apple Photos will detect every photo with that person in it, and this makes searching so much easier. But here's how you go in and tag people in your camera roll so you can search them in people and pets. Open a photo in your camera roll, tap on the screen, and then hit the eye at the bottom of the screen. You'll notice these little circles at the bottom of the photo with each person's face in it. Tap on the one you want to name, select Edit Name and Photos, and then select Name this person and type in their name. And the last utility I'm going to show you today is Map. This one's really cool because it literally shows you a map of everywhere you've taken photos with your iPhones or other Apple devices. And as you zoom in on a location, it gets even more specific to show you exactly where the photo was taken. Now, the search capabilities of the Photos app today is kind of an underrated superpower. This isn't some dumb keyword search where it's just looking through your photos for a certain word, which it will actually do that too. But your iPhone really understands what's in each of your photos and videos. For example, here I'm going to do a search for beach with dog. Apple Photos will immediately show me every picture in my camera roll of a dog at the beach. And there you go, all my pictures of dogs at the beach. You can search by location, you can search by year or date, but you can also look for specific things within that location, year, or date. Here, coffee in Winter Garden, Florida, and that's the exact photo I was looking for right there. And as I mentioned before, you can actually search for text inside a photo. Here I'm typing AU 2025 and boom, there's a photo with that exact verbiage in the photo. All right, now let's get into editing. And remember, if you don't care about editing your photos and videos at all, much of this can be done with what I call the one-click fix. This is perfect for people that want the very best photo without messing with any settings. So when you open a photo, then hit the edit button, then hit the adjust button here, and select this one-click fix. What happens when you do this is the iPhone automatically detects what it thinks are the very best changes to the photo to make it look great. This works on photos and videos. And it's not just increasing the brightness, it's doing things like changing the shadows, the saturation, the exposure, and various other settings. Here's another example of using this one-click fix. It's more noticeable in some photos than others, but it typically looks great. And while we're talking about the quick and simple one-click fixes, this is how you can quickly and easily remove something from your photo. Now, this feature is exclusive to the iPhone 15 Pro models or any of the iPhone 16s or iPhone 17s. Now, here's a photo of my wife and I in a restaurant. If you look closely, you can see there's someone in the back right corner and in the left corner over my shoulder. If I select the edit button, and then I select the cleanup button, the iPhone will immediately detect what it thinks I should remove. Now, if it's wrong, I can always just draw on screen what I want to remove and then select it. But in this case, it detected correctly. I single click on this person and they're gone from the photo. I can pinch out and pinch in on the other side, single click the other person, they're removed from the photo as well. No photo editing skills required, hit done, and now it's just the two of us in the photo. Other very quick edits you can do to your photos are through styles and filters. Here I have a photo open. I'm going to click the edit button again. As you can see, it's set already on a standard style. If I swipe over to the left, I can see the other styles. With one click, I can change it to another style. If I swipe to the right, with one click, I can change it to a filter. Now, Apple will tell you that styles are different than filters because they don't affect skin tone. They can be applied before you take the photo. But if you just want to approach this in the most simple way, just know that both of them will quickly change the look of the photo. And if you want to fine-tune things a bit, you can select one of these styles and then move your finger around on this little pad to adjust the way it looks. For this example, I'm just going to make this a black and white photo. But while we're here, let's talk about a couple other simple things you can do. If you want to crop a photo, hit the edit button again, hit the crop button, hit this button in the upper right-hand corner, and this gives me different options to crop. I can freely crop, or I can select square or different screen sizes, commonly referred to as aspect ratios. If I click this button in the upper left-hand corner, I can rotate the photo. This can come in handy if you accidentally took a photo sideways. Clicking the button next to it allows me to mirror the photo. And finally, selecting these buttons under the photo allows me to decide whether or not I want to crop this in a vertical or horizontal format. And these are commonly referred to as portrait mode or landscape mode. If I click the crop button once more and then I select here, I can smoothly rotate the photo if it's a little bit off. I commonly use this if the horizon is not level in the original photo, and you can see the grid lines here help. And these last two buttons here allow you to skew the photo either left and right or up and down. Now this usually comes in handy if you took a photo very close to something like a tall building and the original photo is skewed. You can kind of unskew it with these tools to make the building or whatever it is look normal. Now, another quick and useful option here is if you want to make an exact copy of the photo that you have, you can select the three dots in the upper right-hand corner and hit duplicate. If it's a live photo, it'll give you the option, do you want to duplicate the live photo or duplicate it as a still photo? If you're not familiar with what a live photo is, live photos are basically like a little mini video. They appear as photos in your camera roll. If you hold your finger down on them, they move and make sound for a minute. Now, I know a lot of people prefer not to use live photos, but I really enjoy using them because you can always come back into a live photo, edit it, and change which frame of that little mini video is the actual photo. You do this by selecting the edit button, then selecting the live button, and then swiping along the bottom until you find the frame of that little mini video you want to keep. In this case, I'm going to pick this one where there's no hand in the photo. Select Make Key Photo. Select Done, and now that's my photo. It does degrade the quality of the photo a tiny bit when you change the frame, but it still looks great. Now, another tool that a lot of people find very useful is marking up a photo. So I've got my photo open here. I'm going to hit the edit button on the bottom again, and then I'm going to select the little icon of a marker in the upper right-hand corner. Now I can draw on the screen with my finger if I want to mark up something before I send someone a photo to show them where something is. There are options here for changing the color of the marker, using a highlighter or an eraser or even a pen, but you can write on screen with your finger, and if you hold your finger down, it will convert to an actual shape. This works for most shapes, circles, triangles, squares, and such. You can also just write out text on the screen if you'd like to put a note on something to point at it. And if you have an iPad with an Apple Pencil, of course, you can be much more accurate with your handwritten notes. And as we're wrapping up the photo editing section here, I want to show you how to edit a portrait photo. This is really cool because you can change the focus after you've taken the photo. To do that, go into a portrait photo, hit the edit button like we've been doing, and then touch the item on the screen that you want to be in focus, in this case, my dog. I can always touch back here in the woods if I want that in focus, but I'm going to keep it on the dog for now. You can then swipe along the bottom of the screen to decide how much blur you want to apply to the items that are not in focus. And if you're like me and you really don't care about doing full-blown photo editing, but you do want to get in and change some of the details, this is how you would do that. So back in your photo, hit edit, hit adjust, and then you have all these dials you can turn here, like exposure and brilliance. And I just keep tinkering with these until the photo looks the way I want it to sometimes. In this case, I wanted it to look like a shadow. But there's value in being able to kind of fine-tune things if you want, and I do sometimes go in and do this. Now we're going to get into video editing, and this section's going to be quick because most of it's very similar to photo editing, if not identical, but there are a couple quick tricks I want to show you. Now here in a video, I select the edit button just like in photos, and I can swipe back and forth through a video when I'm editing here. But if I grab right on the left edge of the video here and hold down, it will turn yellow and I can drag to clip off the beginning of the video. I can do the same thing on the end of the video. You can also slow down a video after you've recorded it by selecting this button. Now, depending on which iPhone you have and which mode you were recording in, you'll have different options for how slow you can make the video. And you can click this button to turn off the sound for the video. This is especially nice if you want to share the video without sharing the audio that's attached. And just remember, you can always come back and undo this. And as far as all those basic edits that we went through in photos, like the one-click fix or changing all these dials for the different colors and shades and things like that, it's all very similar, if not exactly the same, in videos. You do have filters in here. They're a little different, but again, very similar. And cropping works the same way too. And the very last thing I want to show you is editing cinematic videos. If you have cinematic videos on your iPhone, you hit the edit button. You select what you want to be focused on in the cinematic video. You can scroll to a section in the video and then change the focus. The edit will remember where in the video you change the focus. So when you play it back, the focus will change and then change back right where you edited it. You can also go in and control how much blur, just like a portrait photo. All right, that's it. For most people, the Apple Photos app is plenty and you really don't need another app to edit your photos or videos. But a quick side note here, if you do want to go back and take your videos and your photos and maybe merge them together and do a little bit more of advanced edit, but you still don't want to get in some overly complex software, Apple makes another application for iPhone and iPad that is 100% free that will do just this. It's called iMovie. It supports 4K video. It's very simple to use, and I'm a big fan of it. If there's a setting that you often use in the Apple Photos app that I did not mention here today, please let me know. And if you like this video, I'm putting links to a couple more on screen that I think you'll like. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video, and if it helped you, please let me know by leaving a comment below. I'll see you next time.